This is moving so quickly, the AI stuff at the moment, that it's very hard to keep up with how this is moving. But we want to keep abreast of it because it's really a bit of a game changer for your business. So first thing I just want to show you, if you are sort of following this stuff, this might not mean a lot to you, but I'm just going to try and translate what some of this means and why this model is completely different to anything else that you've used. So I imagine most of you can put it in the chat if you like, but what is your AI model of choice at the moment? Just let me know what you're using. I would probably imagine that 80–90% are just going to be sticking to the trusty ChatGPT. Um, is there anyone doing anything else? So yeah, so that's pretty much thought that that was going to be the case, which is fine. Um, just for me to sort of test what the best tools are out there, and I know Angie's jumped on the call as well. I know she's been doing the same. We're sort of testing all the models at the moment and seeing where they excel in different areas. So we know that Claude is probably one of the best for your social media content and blog writing. It's very great at writing stuff. And then yeah, ChatGPT is just probably the best all rounder to be honest. Gemini had the lead in image generation by far. Grok is probably the one that's behind all of them, although it's getting the new release is getting really good at their coding. So their Grok 4.1 is excellent at coding. So yeah, they've all got their strengths and weaknesses, but this new model that's come out, this Gemini 3 that was only released late last week, is an absolute game changer. And really, I wanted to run through this because I want you all to use it and start using it regularly so you can see how different it is to all the others. Now, the problem, what's going to happen is ChatGPT are probably going to put another release out in 6 months and they might be the leader of the pack. But I've just got a feeling that well, and from what a lot of the experts are saying, Gemini might be about to start running away with this by how big this advancement is. So let's talk about these benchmarks and what it means to you. So the first benchmark at the top is its score on humanities last exam. So I don't know what humanities last exam actually consists of, but it's meant to be the hardest exam that exists. And what it's doing across the AI models is testing their PhD level academic reasoning across all different disciplines. So it's not like a specialist in one thing, it's across everything. Now you can just see from the stats on that from ChatGPT 5.1 that was just released to their new model now, they're up to 45.8%. So that's a huge jump. It's not quite double the intelligence, but that is a very, very significant jump in intelligence. So what this means for you is that you might just be using ChatGPT to, rewrite your emails or write the odd social media post. But now what this is good for with the reasoning ability is that you could actually start using it to solve disputes and come up with real deep understanding of how you should tackle negotiations, potentially contracts, that sort of thing. You could really start leaning on it for much more complex reasoning things that you need to think about. So that's pretty good. That's something you want to start using. So that's the top benchmark. And that's probably the main one that most people are blown away with, actually, is how intelligent it's got with that. The next one, which matters to you, is the Math Arena Apex. So I know this is really small, but this is for challenging math contest problems. So the problem with the AIs generally is that they were actually really bad at maths. So you probably found that when you put spreadsheets in and you asked it to calculate things and it would just get it wrong all the time. And you can just see why with the other models at like 1%, 0.5%, they were terrible. This is like a 20x improvement at 23.4%. So still not perfect, but we're talking about real challenging math problems here. What that means for you is that if you're uploading spreadsheets and you're getting it to do analysis of complex maths things like your estimates or your materials, say you've got a big price of materials and you want it to analyze that and say how does that compare with the average of what I'm spending on these type of projects, it's going to be able to do that to a much better degree. Still not all the way there, but it's very, very good. And I've been working on a lot of spreadsheets and throwing it in there just to see what it can do. Pretty impressed with that. The next one is ScreenSpot Pro. Now, why this is so important, and again, look at the difference between ChatGPT at 3.5% This is just completely running away with it at 72%. This is where it's actually understanding what's on your screen. So we showed you before when you were using AI Studio, which is actually a Google product, and it was showing you like if you were clicking around zero and you think, I don't understand how to do this, or where do I click now, or maybe you're using Flow Build and don't quite understand how to set things up. Sometimes you would do a screenshot or share screen, it just wouldn't get it. Gemini does. It fully understands what is going on your screen, and it also does that with images, any other imagery that you're going to attach to it. So very, very powerful at understanding screens, which is what you need. So that's good. This other benchmark going down is Vending Bench 2. So this is an interesting test actually. So what this means, Vending Bench 2, is they actually put an AI agentic agent to task. So what they do is they give it like a business model, which I think is like a vending machine business model, and they've got the agentic agent has got to manage emails, it's got to order supplies, it's got to come up with a business plan, and they basically try and get this agentic agent to go and make money. Now, as you can see from the other previous models, it wasn't that great. Actually, Claude was pretty good at it because Claude's pretty good at code. But the old Gemini only generated $500. ChatGPT 5.1, which you're using now, is only $1,400, whereas Gemini 3 Pro was running away with it at $5,500. What that's basically saying is that an AI agent can generate money on your behalf, and it actually, was working a business model by itself. I mean, that tells you what the future is going to potentially be. That you maybe even be sending AI agents out there to go and build businesses for you. But that's absolutely crazy that it was able to do that and generate that profit. And when you actually look at I haven't got the chart on here, but when you actually look at the chart, it just kept going. Like all the others started petering out and falling away. Gemini kept going and hit a bit of a curve. So that's pretty impressive. So what that means for you is it's not available yet in Gemini, or it's not great in Gemini, but you're going to start being able to use agents properly in the Gemini app, where you can actually set it a task and go, these are the materials I need. I want you to email all these suppliers, phone around for the best prices. We did demonstrate this back in the event last year, and it just wasn't working very well. Now you're really going to see it working. It's like they're actually, able to carry out long horizon time frame agentic tasks, which is pretty exciting. The last one is this MRCR. This is for long context. So the problem with AIs were often that when you were putting a load of paperwork into it, sometimes it would forget what you put in before. You could be having a conversation with it and you attach a document, and then, like 4 days later, you come back to it after adding another 10 documents. It's forgot what you said originally. Really frustrating. You can just see from this that it's just moved the needle again. And it's got very, very long context performance. So it can remember what you've been talking about. So you can go back to old conversations and see what's going on there. So that's really good. Again, sure, great for people like Demi if you're looking at JCT contracts and stuff like that, and you wanted to remember what's been said or what's been agreed previously, or maybe you have 6 months of email threads that you need to upload and export and upload and get it to analyze what the client said. It's going to be able to do that for you. So very, very good. There's other features in it too, which are powerful. And I just want to show you some of the other features. One that's not on the benchmark is Nano Banana. I don't know whether anyone's been testing that yet for image generation, but this Nano Banana is just unbelievable. And I'm just going to quickly show you that now. And I don't know why that wasn't on the benchmark, but let me just show you what I've been playing around with it, and you might think of some better cases. So let me just share my screen here. Just going to scroll to the top. So you'll see all my prompts here of what I was doing. And sorry, I'm just going to scroll to the top as well, that makes sense. Right. Share my screen. Okay. Interesting enough. So it's crazy because I'm sharing my screen in Atlas, which I told you about the other day. This is ChatGPT Atlas. I can't believe they didn't release their Chrome, like Gemini Chrome, the same as Atlas. I don't know why they haven't released that at the same time, because it would be a no-brainer. I'm using Gemini, but why am I why have I got ChatGPT here? I should be just using Chrome, really. That's a bit frustrating. Anyway, let me show you this. So I just took an architect sketch. If anyone's interested, there's actually some drawings for the ground floor of my house over here in Oz. And I basically said, can you create a 3D architect SketchUp of this, including furniture and wall colors, keep the room's perspective scale correct? So all I've done is I've just done a screenshot of that. That is it. All right, now look at that, and then look at this. So that is the hand-drawn version of the one above, and they're identical. There's not, I actually looked to this for mistakes. The only mistake it's made is that it's got the staircase turning at the end, at the top, whereas that's got like a straight flight there. But other than that, it's got it. It's got it all. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So, if you were gonna maybe use that when you're sending proposals to your clients, just something different, and say, hey, just thought it might be good to just do like a bit of a 3D design for you of what you want that to look like. You're talking about just a prompt and uploading a drawing, so that's pretty cool. So I thought let's go a little bit further than that. And that's just me playing around with an architect, like a 3D SketchUp. You could say something else, and probably, I could add something to this if I wanted, which I'll show you now. Then I did the outside of my house, and I said, can you create a stunning modern CGI external image based on these elevations? Right, so just another single prompt, and it come out with this, which, if you look at it, it's actually really, really close. The only mistake it's made on that, I mean, it even got that bit that the door's blocked in. All right, so it got that right. And see, you can't see that word in there, but it says cladding as selected. So that's why it's put cladding on the bottom level. So that's pretty cool. The only bit it got wrong was just this bit here. Can you see, like, I've got sliding doors up here? And well, this is the architect's fault because he's gone and put some downpipe on the in the middle of the sliding doors. So that's the architect's fault. But oh, actually, no, it's probably not a downpipe. What am I talking about? It's holding the veranda above, isn't it? It's not a downpipe, but it just got that bit slightly wrong because that's actually a full set of sliding doors and it didn't get that. But other than that, that's pretty cool. So that's now a CGI based on a drawing, and then I was messing about with it there, and then I said, "Oh, can you make this Australian grey cladding? Because we're not actually having that cladding. We have Australian grey. It gave me a horrible grey, but that was the cladding. We're not going to have it like that. But anyway, that's what it did. So it just changed that on a prompt. Then I said I wanted this al fresco area because it didn't capture the al fresco area very well. Um, well, actually, it didn't capture because I didn't upload this drawing. But anyway, I said I wanted the al fresco area. Didn't quite get this right at first. I like to mess about. It added it on the wrong drawing. So anyway, I went back and forth, and in the end, it got it. It got the al fresco area there, which was great. Um, so it's not 100%, but it's getting there. And then I just said, now show me it 3D, sorry, 45-degree angle. And this is what's brilliant about it is that it will actually capture the same image, and it's not generating a new image. It's the same image, but from a different angle. So that's pretty cool as well. So what do you think of that? Like you get paying like for CGI drawings. How about that for potentially showing your clients? You're doing this off of prompts. This is free. This is a free version of Nano Banana. Um, Feel free to unmute if anyone's impressed with that. Can you think of any other use cases or what you might use that for? But I thought that was nuts.
It can be used, Greg, for the shadows. That is, I'm not sure whether it is that accurate that it can predict where the shadows will be on the next building.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
because
maybe.
that is required for the planning permits that you understand where the shadows are going.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know whether it's that advanced, but it has got shadows on here.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but yeah, I'm sure you could say where the position of the sun was in the relation to the drawing and get it to change the
Yep.
shadows. I'm pretty sure it'd do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure if it'd give you an accurate shadow diagram. Um, but yeah,
But
pretty
if I,
pretty
I
cool.
think if you give a prompt, it might be able to do that
Yeah,
based on the time
yeah,
you say morning, afternoon, and the evening. Give me the
yeah,
shadow drawing diagrams.
yeah. That'd be interesting if it does that. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. Let me show you something else. So the I just got it to do a takeoff to see how good it was at takeoffs. So all I've done is I've uploaded the set of plans of a little granny flat that we're building on this plot. So if I just show you I wonder if it'll show you that. Yeah, there you go. So you can see like we've got like a section of land to the side, and we have to build this weird shaped granny flat, right? So that's all I've uploaded, the floor plan and how it's going to look. So what I've done is I've asked it for a full bill of quantities for this. The first thing it's done is it has got the areas correct. So I've verified this. It is actually 60 square meters. That is the exact measurement of the drawing. So all right, I know it's gone 60, 65, but you know, it's rough, but it's there. That was just based on the PDF. And then it's just done some rubbish breakdown, which was pretty lame. It got the doors in and stuff, but that was a bit rubbish. Anyway, so I just said put in a provisional sum for the structural calcs because it said it didn't know that there was no structural calcs, and it's just given me an estimated cost. All right, so then we've just gone a little bit further and said, okay, that's fine, but yeah, it's telling me what it's allowed for and what it's why it set the steels at 35k and best guesses for that stuff. Um, I just wanted to check if that was in US or Aussie dollars because just to see it was pricing it right, and it said no, it's got it in Aussie dollars because it noticed that on the drawing. Then I've said give me a full bill of quantities based on this, and it's done the quantity in units for it, and then I've just said as we scroll down, that's not what I wanted it like. I wanted it to be. Sorry, I just keep going. There's loads here. You've created multiple sheets here. Make this one document. So it gave me one document like that. So now I've got like um, a document. Well, I did have a full bill of quantities, and then now I've got bulk prices next to it. Then I've asked for something more detailed. So if I keep scrolling down, sorry, this is really long. I want a full bill of quantities exported to a Google sheet. I want it split out into labor and materials. Make sure it shows price per item or price per unit. A detailed bill of quantities. It's gave me that, which I then copied and pasted into Google, and it turned into this. All right, so now we've got a full bill of quants where you can see, what's the material cost. Like, so if we just verify one of these, quantity 15 times 220 labor rate will give you a total labor rate of 3,300. Right. So it's done that for me. It didn't. Yeah, I did add these bold bits just here. It didn't give me it in bold, but other than that, it done the whole thing. Um, so that's pretty cool. What do you think of that? Now, I'm not saying this, you haven't got to check this, and I'm not saying that, these prices are completely right. And obviously Demi's on the call now, so he's going to be sort of pulling this apart. But it's showing us where it's going, isn't it? And maybe if you've got little things to price up, small little jobs, and you think, oh, I just want to price this myself, um, you might be able to do it. So I would really encourage some of you, if you've already priced some stuff, maybe throw it in there against prices you've already got and just see where it compares, and I guess the more you do that, the more confidence you'll have in it. And maybe just break it down into sections potentially. Or I don't think you could upload a full set of drawings. Like I just bear in mind there, I've uploaded one sheet of a drawing because that was the one I tested. I haven't tested a full set of drawings to be honest, but I've got a feeling it might not have that ability. But at the same time, on the benchmarks, it does have long context performance, so maybe it would. Um, One more thing I'm going to show you, and then I'll hand over. Just marketing. So this is really cool. Oh, there's two more things I'm going to show you.
Just correct, Greg.
Yeah.
Have you tried actually loading your estimation template and charges and ask it to change this code based on your template or your quantities, your estimation?
No, but it would 100% it'd be able to do that, Deepak. Yeah,
That
without a
will be
doubt.
good actually. If you create a
Yeah,
template
yeah.
and give the drawing and ask it to calculate based on that,
Yeah,
quote it
remember
based on that.
this is 20 times better than any other AI that's out
Yeah,
there. But it's
no,
still
it
only
is
at
really good. Yeah.
23.4%. But yeah, that's worth testing. So just in the group, if you are testing this stuff out, let me know how you're going with that because you've obviously got more prices and more drawings and things than I will have. So it'd be interesting just to see how you go with that.
One other thing,
What else?
Greg,
Yeah.
I can do cheaper than this if you want to build it in Melbourne.
Yeah, come. I'll put you up, Deepak, and you come and build it for me. This was interesting enough. So this was based on $3,700 a square meter. Apparently, I think that worked it out as the bulk cost, and then it added all the other stuff on. Anyway, let's keep going. So that was that. So now I just wanted to show you something you can use it for marketing. So I wanted to create a brief for your marketing, right? So if I was going to come up with the top 5 mistakes that homeowners make when they're embarking on a building project, what would they be? Context, I'm doing this for my construction clients. I want to demonstrate how you can use AI to do a post, right? So basically, I've got the top 5 mistakes. So you've all probably done this, got the top 5 mistakes, and you're going to put that on a social media post, all right? So there's nothing special there. Then what we do is this. This is incredible. I'd like to create an infographic about this. Give me a brief that we can turn into an infographic. So now it's given me a brief for the infographic. And then when we look at the infographic, here's the infographic. Now, look at that. Look at the detail on this. And like, there's no spelling mistakes that I can see. And you've got the difference between the DIY uh, homeowner. So he's trying to design a £400,000 home with a £250,000 budget. He's going for the cheapest quote. He's changing his mind mid-build. He's playing the project manager, zero contingency. So you've got 5 mistakes and then what you should be doing. So that's just really, really cool marketing stuff. Um, and then if you wanted to go further than that, I just said now turn that into a carousel for Instagram. And then you've got all your posts for the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've got 7 posts there, all broken up that you could potentially use as a carousel for Instagram, for your marketing, just to stand out as a little bit different and get a few comments on it. So that's pretty cool as well. I'm just blown away by that one. One thing it's not great at, but I did give it a go. Just said, no, not that one. Can you design a web page for me? Because I just did see a few people on YouTube doing this in one shot, and it was pretty amazing. So I tried this. It wasn't as simple as the others. Create a modern and beautiful home web page for me for a builder that does high-end projects valued at 500K. Um, and it done it. So it's here. A couple of the images didn't come through properly. I did specify that I wanted the images to be UK. That's not UK images, really, is it? To be honest. So I don't think they are anyway. Um, and then one thing it did do, which is really cool, is it's got this little AI concierge. So you can come in here and say you want a new build that's Georgian classic, and then you could say your vision. I don't know, give me a 5 bedroom property with a swimming pool and balconies. I don't know, come up with something, generate concept, and it doesn't do an actual drawing, but just to so you're not getting too excited. But it gives a little bit of info on that, what you should consider, some suggested materials, discuss this concept with our team. So yeah, it's what's interesting about it is you could potentially play around with this and then give this to your website designer and say, look, I've done the brief for you. This is sort of what I want it to look like, but I don't want this, this, and this. Or if you're doing landing pages, if you've got your own website and you think, actually, I really need a landing page because I'm doing a promotion, or yeah, I want to do this or that, you could potentially use it for that. So that's pretty cool. But that's it. That's all I've got to show you on that. Sorry, that took a lot longer than what I was expecting. But what's your thoughts?